actually for straining, so today we're going to look at vibrato, and specifically 3 different types of vibrato we have, which is arm vibrato, wrist vibrato, and finger vibrato. Like most things, this applies most to violinists and violists, but cellos and bass, there's still something that you can take from this as well. So we're going to get started. You're going to need a metronome, your instrument to be in tune, and then we can start. Okay, so let's figure out what type of vibrato that you have naturally. Again, there's the 3 different types: arm, wrist, and finger. So let's look at arm vibrato first. So arm vibrato is when you're using this part of your arm to actually make the vibrating motion like this. It's usually the widest vibrato of the 3. And it's the most natural motion, I think, too, just here. So you get a really relaxed motion. But full disclosure, if you don't learn arm vibrato during your formative years, like middle school, high school, it can be hard to do later on. Okay, so now let's look at arm vibrato again on each finger. So let's start with first finger. You can see that my arm is really relaxed and it's just kind of opening and shutting. Second finger. And third finger. And then fourth finger. Good, so you probably are thinking, wow, I would not want to use that vibrato on something that was really fast because it's hard to engage my arm quick enough. And you might be right. So arm vibrato is really handy on the lower register and when you're playing slow. Alright, let's talk about wrist vibrato, my personal favorite, slash just the one that's easiest for me. So wrist vibrato comes from not so much your wrist, but kind of the bottom of your hand here. So I think sometimes people think wrist vibrato and they think, okay, it's going to be kind of this kind of thing. No, it's just this part of your hand vibrating here. Okay, so let's go through the fingers that way. Here's first finger. Second finger. Third finger. And fourth finger. Good, and then this is kind of your medium speed vibrato, good for a wide range of registers and speeds and note values. Its limits are, it can be a little bit slow for the highest register where you really want a piercing, like quite virtuosic sound. And then it can sometimes be a little too narrow for the very lowest register if you want that sort of like bigger, thicker sound as well. But I think it's a fairly natural movement once you get it. But I will say it's a little strange feeling because you have to kind of engage your bicep here to free up the hand moving. So it just, you'll feel like a tightness and kind of a funny spot on that one. And then last we have finger vibrato, which is the most similar to wrist vibrato. It's just teenier. And this is really useful for when you're playing really quick note values, like 16th notes, but you want a little bit of that shimmer on there. Or you're playing in the upper register and you want kind of a like attack. So it goes like this. Here's first finger, second, third, fourth. So you can hear probably it's a little bit tighter sounding. And the oscillations are a lot narrower. But then if you're up in the upper register, it's a little bit more appropriate up there because you get kind of that sting on every note. So what you want ultimately is to have all three kind of in your repertoire and to be able to do a mix of all of them depending on what you're playing. So we're going to go through next some vibrato exercises to help make sure that you are, number one, doing your vibrato correctly and that you're not falling into some vibrato traps. And then two, help you to maybe expand your vibrato repertoire and start working on one of the ones that isn't the one that you first learned when you first learned vibrato. Okay, so here's a good exercise to do when you're first starting out with vibrato, or if you need to retrain your vibrato because it's gotten kind of a bad habit. So you're going to start by actually just putting your finger on top of the instrument here, and we'll get into playing position in a second, but I just want to show you here. And then you'll be rocking below and above, back and forth. So let's try that now. So get into playing position. And then move your hand so that the finger, we'll use first finger, is on top of your instrument. It's right here. Yep. And then we're just gonna rock it back and forth like this. So we're going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Things you wanna watch out for: a twist, no. Sliding the finger like this. You just want to stay in position, like here's your pitch, and then you're going below, above, and then you just return your hand to its regular shape, below, above, above. So we're going to try with the metronome on 60, and we're just going to change with the beat. So below, above, below, above, below, above. Now we're going to try twice as fast. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now we're going to go twice as fast again. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 4 E and then go twice as fast again, which I can't say fast enough. Ready? Good. Now we're going to try with the bow. So grab your bow, and we're going to go into 4th position on an E, which is here. And we're going to turn the metronome again, and we're going to do the same thing that we did on top of our instrument, but now just on the string. So first with the beat. And then we're going to twice as fast, so 8th notes. And 16th note, so twice as fast again. And then twice as fast again. So that's that first exercise, and you do that maybe 3 to 5 minutes every day, every time you practice, and you can try it on every finger as well. So we did first finger, but then try it again on 2nd, 3rd, and then 4th. And we'll talk a little bit more about 4th finger and how it works later. Okay. This next exercise is very good because you get to use a lemon. Well, you could use any fruit that's about this big. So like an orange would work. I feel like you would really bruise an apple, but if that's all you have, fine. You could also use a tennis ball. Anyway, so I have this lemon. So this is if you're maybe an arm vibrato person and you're trying to learn some wrist vibrato. So you get to put the lemon right here. And that's going to stop my arm from moving because I will crush my lemon, and I do not want to do that because I need it for later. Okay. So you put it here, and then you're going to do the same motion, but with the lemon. So let's turn the metronome back on. Okay. I feel like I'm going to, no, it's fine, okay. Then twice as fast. Then again, it helps if you have a buddy who can hold it. It's pretty nice. Okay, twice fast again. And then again. Hooray, good. So that's an exercise that you want to do for a couple weeks, and then you try it without the lemon. So see you later, lemon, and see if you can do the same shape. And of course, because I practiced for so many weeks with my lemon, that's why I'm able to do it without my lemon. But try that one. But ask your parents before you can, you know, just manhandle their fruit first. Okay, so now say you're ready for more of a challenge. You're like, I did the lemon, I'm ready to go. What's next? Give it to me. So what's next is going to be us working on how wide your vibrato is. So first we're going to start with a wide vibrato. And again, we're just going to use the metronome for every single thing, so just have it ready. Okay, so you turn our metronome on to 60 again. It will always be 60. And we're going to start with a wide vibrato. So we're going to vibrate the space of a half step. And what's also really important is the pitch that you're choosing. So I'm going to play a C. That's the highest point of your vibrato. And then you're going to go down from there. You're not going to go above the C ever. So we're going to go down a half step. And again, we're not going to slide because that's never a thing. We're just going to rock. So here's a half step. Available on your lower register. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're only going to go down like a quarter tone. Okay, so same idea, it's just narrower this time. Narrower, but you want to have both of those at your disposal depending on what you're playing, the note value, the character of the piece, just everything. So experiment now with some wide vibrato, half step, and then some narrow vibrato, quarter step. And it doesn't have to be exact, but you'll feel the difference with the lean of your fingers in the half step versus the quarter step. So experiment with that a little bit, that's fun. So the last exercise we'll do in this series is a more advanced exercise in the higher position. So if your dog hasn't already started howling yet, or your parents haven't come up and been like, please turn it off right now, stop. They're going to after this one. So let's go find a high position here. Any high position, doesn't really matter. I'm choosing this one because this is where I want to be. So here, you can see that my wrist is extended this way, which means it doesn't really have any more room to move. And also I'm running into the shoulders of my instrument, so wrist vibrato is kind of out of the question right now. So we're gonna have to use a little bit of our arm and a little bit of our fingers. So we're gonna do the same exercise up here in position. Also, your fingerboard, now that we're up in the high register, the spaces are closer together, right? You know this. So our half steps and our quarter steps are really, really quite close together. So we have to be careful too that it doesn't get too wide, or it'll sound terrible. So turn our metronome on again. We'll do the same exercise, but we're not going to do a half step at all. We're going to do quarter. good. So, turn this off here. That one, you'll just notice that your arm is engaged in a different way than it is in the lower positions, and that's totally fine. We have to kind of work around the shape of this thing sometimes. But that's when the other parts of our arm come into use, our arm and also our fingers. So don't worry about trying to use your wrist up there. It's not possible. So that's another exercise that you want to try, a different finger, a different position every day, because it's slightly different if I'm here versus here versus here versus all the way up here, right? You can see that the shape of my wrist and my arm changes with every position. So you want to be familiar with those so that when you're performing a piece, you know, like, okay, I'm in 7th position, let's say. So I know that I need to use this type of vibrato up here, and this is the way that I'm going to navigate around the shoulders. Or you're saying, oh, I'm in 5th position, so I'm going to use this type of vibrato here. You just want to already have that kind of in your repertoire, so you're not figuring it out on the way. Cellos and bass, because I would never forget you. I want to also show you a special lemon exercise of your very own. Again, tennis ball probably better, but I don't have a tennis ball, but I do have a lot of lemons. So here's my cello, and I put my lemon here on the strings. Okay, and then you practice here, rocking, like this. Now, violists and violinists, you can try this too and be like, wow, cellos and basses are so lucky because what a nicer motion this is. And also you get to put the lemon on the strings instead of just my wrist. Wow. So this is a great exercise for cellists to develop a nice vibrato too. Plus you get to play with your lemon again. Yeah. So now that you've been banned from making sound at all, guess what? We have a vibrato practice that doesn't involve making any sound, so that's good. Okay, so this one, also a good shifting exercise. You're going to start in 1st position, and you're just going to float your hand up to 3rd, and then back to 1st, up to 3rd. And you're just practicing this nice arm movement here. You go, oh, you go up to 5th, oh, up to 7th, and then back down. And you're focusing on keeping this nice straight line right here, and just closing your arm like it's like a door hinge, right? Okay, now you can also change this by anchoring your thumb here and still just moving your hand. Oh, now, because now it feels more like regular vibrato. So now you can also make the distance really small. Like it could be like a 3rd, and then down to a major 2nd, then a minor 2nd, and then here you are. So let's do it again, but without the thumb. So here's your biggest motion here. And then let's just put that in half. So here, and then let's put it in half again, here, and then half again here. And look, oh, we're getting an arm vibrato, and then half again here. Ah, good. So then you do it again with the thumb anchored. So this distance, then half, then half, then half, then half. Yeah, good. So now you're not in trouble for making sound anymore. Good job. Alright, so hopefully that gave you some great ideas about how to make your vibrato better and some fun exercises to annoy your siblings and your pets and your parents and get you kicked outside to go play. Next week, I'm hoping that we're going to do some work with the app Acapella. I could not figure it out this week in time to make this video, so we will try next week. But it's fun because I don't know about you, but I miss harmony in my life a little bit. I'm kind of tired of just like hearing myself play all alone. So Acapella is fun because you can make your own harmony and you can do duets with yourself. So hopefully we're going to look at that next week. But in the meantime, improve your vibrato, improve your practicing, and I will see you later. Okay, miss you. Bye.